there. So we're going to be going over the death and discharge stuff. Let's say you're doing continuous care and you need to do documentation following the death or expiration of a patient. This will be for exactly that. So this will be following, of course, you calling the family, you informing the physician. Usually if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, just send a text out to the physician, maybe not calling them, unless of course it was requested. And then informing DME company for pickup, all that sort of thing. Those are all part of your responsibilities following the cessation of life of a patient to, help wrap up the case. Beyond the obvious being, making sure the patient and family are all feeling supported and comfortable, all that sort of thing. So first things first, we will do death and disposal. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is kind of macabre, kind of filling out a death and disposal for myself, but we're going to be going with, sure. No, let's do it on Valentine's Day. Love that. Hospice received call. This is only for if if we're going out to visit, to do a death visit. Otherwise, if it's continuous care, this doesn't really apply. Date and time of pronounced death. I'm not going to put this in because it feels a little funny to do something like that. But you fill that out. Pronounced by, it's usually a hospice staff. As evidenced by, this is basic, but usually just check vitals, pupil response, and so on. Mortuary notified, physician notified. They don't have one for DME, but you have to just remember you have to call in the bed to have the patient's DME brought back. Of course, make sure that the logistics of the mortuary and the DME pickup are in line. We need to have the patient brought to the mortuary before the DME gets picked up. So in terms of medication disposal, presently on February 13th, 2023, for Oakhurst policy and procedures, we do not dispose of medication ourselves. We are allowed to witness, in the sense of, let's say it's a skilled nursing facility, they don't want to go find another nurse. We're allowed to witness medication disposal and sign off on the witnessing portion, but we are not actually allowed to be touching the medications for disposal purposes ourselves. So that'll be disposed medication for hospice policy and procedures. If we just left it there with the skilled nursing staff, then that's them. As for the no medication destroyed, that's specific to, like, as you can see here, narcotic controlled meds. But anyways, usually we can leave the medications. We can leave them with the family and instruct them and educate them, for instance, on where they can dispose, which is place like they can go to a pharmacy, they can go to a police station and drop them off. I believe hospitals as well can do disposal. But generally speaking, we'll be the ones helping out in the sense of just witnessing disposals. We are just not allowed to do disposals. This is pretty straightforward. Narcotic controlled drug, you need to list those here. You don't need to list, the omeprazole and the bicycle suppositories. Just, usually for us, it's going to be Ativan morphine. That's about it. So witness or stated by. Really what's funny is that the witness part would be us. Stated by is going to be the family, whoever is actually disposing the meds, because we're not supposed to. Narrative, pretty straightforward. That's just a summation of the expiration and the working with the family, getting everything called in, how the call went, all that sort of thing, how the visit went, and all that sort of thing. If the patient was on continuous care preceding this, then that's where you would have that. Basically, this is like a brief summary of the CC and everything following the expiration of the patient. it's not going to be a, it's not a CC note, so it's not an hour by hour. But yeah, so that's it for that. Let's say I'll just do a couple things real quick so that we can, I'll just say today I'll back order it so I don't feel so weird about it. Got all this. I think I can save it. Okay. So after you're done with doing any note, really, you fill everything out, you press save. After you save it, it allows you to do staff signature. So staff signature, and then sign and send to the QA. Quality assurance, which is me, yes. So it it pauses once and then it pauses again. The first pause is for the signature, second pause is for it to send to QA. And if you need to, let's say everything happened like another day, you could just say the day that it was supposed to be on. Let's say if I died the 12th and you just were doing the note the next day, then you can have the signature be for the same day if you feel like it. I don't think it really matters all that much one way or another. So that's that. Save, and now we're done. What's odd is that this won't let me do. I'm gonna delete this account anyways, so yeah. Anywho, okay. Let me, and that'll be wrapped up for that. I'll go on to the next. So we got the death and disposal finished up. The next thing you need to do is go to postmortem note. For the death and disposal, the narrative at the bottom, the narrative is pretty much going to be the summary for the postmortem note. So let's go to new record. You go down. Remember that these little things you have to click open. Go down, postmortem note, new record right here. And this is where you put in your info. So let's do 13th, or let's do 14, whatever. And same, a little bit later. Okay, so after you put in time and time out, as you can see, you have to enter time in and save to continue. So save, there we go. Now we have the rest of our drop downs. So open her up. You have, it's pretty straightforward. This is you could write either just patient expired, if you want. You can write family express gratitude, whatever. You can write whatever in this particular box. But just make sure you fill it out, and it's like the briefest of summaries of what happened, basically like the reason why you're there. Usually it's patient expired for a postmortem note. So you got that. Fill out the things that you need to fill out. Death and disposal, I already showed you. That's this guy right here. It's already done. And narrative, basically the same exact narrative that you have in the death and disposal. So staff signature, and then yep, and it sends to QA as well. So you sign and send to QA, and that's that. So got that guy done. I'm gonna go ahead and I forgot that in this system I don't have QA stuff set up, so I can't delete this just yet. So that's pretty much it. That's the death and disposal post-mortem, basically a death visit or end of CC because the patient passed away. That's what you got to do for that portion. So thank you.